And now it is my pleasure to welcome Chef Cindy Stern. Cindy is a High Women for Israel Steering Committee member. She has over 30 years experience in the culinary industry and 10 years experience as the chef owner of Yes Chef Culinary Events here in Atlanta. She'll share her tips and techniques and show us how to turn our scraps into sumptuous delights. Don't forget to ask Cindy questions via the chat function, which will be monitored by Cheryl Simonoff, a High Society member, an active leader on our Women for Israel Steering Committee. Be sure to check your inbox over the next few days for answers to your chat questions, Cindy's recipes that she's demonstrating this evening, and an extra video tip.
Thank you so much, Jackie. Hi, everybody. Welcome to my kitchen. It's so nice to see some familiar faces on the gallery, as well as see lots of new faces as well. As Jackie mentioned, I've been the chef owner of Yes Chef Culinary Events for 10 years now, and I'm passionate. I love what I do. And my other passion is Women for Israel and the important work that we do through JNF, like with the R&D in the Arava and what they do with ACAT. As we saw from the slide, from the map, Noah's Farm is very far from the city. And so they really have to use everything that they can and not waste anything, especially since they're exporting the rest. So this got me to thinking different ways that we here in our own homes can waste less or waste not. I did a little research, and in our homes, this isn't counting grocery stores or restaurants, in our own home, we're wasting 76 billion pounds of food a year. That makes up for 40% of all the overall food waste. So I'm hoping that we can come together and learn some new recipes and some ways to waste not. Sit back, relax. I'm gonna do all of the cooking. You don't even have to take notes because we're gonna email all of these recipes to you as well as a little bonus video. So let's get started. Our first recipe is called amba. Amba is Iraqi in origin, and it's widely used all over Israel. It's a spicy condiment, salads, sandwiches, fish, chicken, use it everywhere, and it's really healthy too. So I've used a mango. They actually grow mangoes in the Arava, which is amazing. But this mango, it's a little on the old side, truth be told. In the blender, I also have some peaches as well. I'm giving it a little bit of a southern spin. And you know, peaches, they bruise easily. This is the perfect thing to use those up. So I've got my 2 halves of the mango. I actually just need 1 more half for that. So to store my other half of mango, I'm just gonna put it flat down on my cutting board, and then I'm gonna put it into my refrigerator. You can do the same thing with an orange, tomato, anything like that, melon, halfway down, the cut half down, put it on a plate, a cutting board, put it in the fridge. You don't need any plastic wrap. The next thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna show you a little trick about the mango. So I've got this half, and I'm just going to make some slices into it, vertically as well as horizontally. Voila. And then you can just peel these off and throw them into the blender. So also the other thing that you can do is you can save these, any fruit scraps you have. I have some funky bins that hang out in my freezer. This one has some half-used lemons as well as a little bit of meat that's left on the mango. In my bonus video, I'm going to show you how we use all of that. So next up, I'm going to toast all of our spices. These are actually Thai chili peppers. You can use a jalapeno Thai chili pepper. If you have Calabrian peppers sitting in your fridge, you can use those too. anything that has a little bit of heat. I also have some mustard seed, a little bit of cumin, some sumac, and a little bit of cayenne. Did I mention that this condiment has a little bit of spunk and spice to it? If not, it's got spunk and spice. It's delish. All right, so while this is toasting, and this is a dry pan, while that's toasting, we're going to puree. So as soon as you smell, this is how you know that your spices are done. As soon as you can smell them, they're done. I'm smelling them, they're done. We're gonna throw those in. Give it another nice little blend. Add some brown sugar. And what I like to do anytime, this is the 1/4 cup of sugar that's on the recipe, I'm gonna add about half of it first and then taste it. One great way to waste less is to have a bunch of spoons at the ready so that you can taste as you go. Got the perfect amount of heat. That is delish. Great on salmon. I actually have a really nice beet salad here. So it's just some beets, a little bit of dill, and this is some amba that I have. And I'm just gonna use this so that I have it nice to dip all my beets in. I love these squeeze bottles because it, you just pour out whatever you need and it's ready to go. And this will keep in the fridge for a couple weeks. And if you notice, no oil in this, just a little bit of water. I didn't even need all of my sugar and it's ready to go. So not only do I love to waste less, I also love it when things are quick and easy and pack a lot of punch of flavor. All right, so let's talk real quick about our raffle before our next recipe. So I think that it was mentioned this fabulous wine, this Fagot, which is from this one's a red blend and it's from the Northern Jerusalem Mountains. So thank you to the 5 women who have decided to become Alliance members. We appreciate it so much. We also have our Waste Not Cookbook that I'm going to raffle off at the end of my demo. And then last but absolutely not least, our good old J&F Blue Box that of course, I love how it gets a little refresher every couple years. My Blue Box does not live in my kitchen. My Blue Box actually lives in my laundry room so that it will collect all the extra change and everything. And then this year, as I packed up my kids and sent them off to live in a fraternity house, sent them off to live in an apartment, they all got the Blue Box to put by their washer and dryer too. So this also makes a nice little gift to our college students and young adults. All right, cuckoo. We are going to cuckoo. Cuckoo sazvi is a Persian dish and it is made from herbs. Like the majority of it is herbs. So the only thing that I can grow in my herb garden is parsley, basil, and mint. That's it. I've tried tomatoes, I've tried cucumbers, I've tried everything else, which actually makes me so amazed that Noah and her ilk can actually grow and feed Israel and export food from this dry, arid desert. I can't even grow parsley very well. But when I do, I make cuckoo. So, what I love about cuckoo is that, you know, we'll buy herbs for a specific recipe sometimes, and then we won't use them all. Or it's the one thing that we can grow in our garden. And then what do we do with them? This is a fantastic, easy recipe that, again, uses so many things. You don't even have to trim your herbs. So we're gonna start off with a little bit of olive oil. What makes this dish a little bit better is if you have Israeli olive oil. So we're gonna use some olive oil. I've got an onion here. You know, I love the Vidalia onions. You can use a leek, you can use anything that you have in your fridge. The nice thing about this recipe, you'll see when you get it, there's leeks, I believe, are what's written on there, but you can use absolutely any kind of onion, leek, shallot, anything like that. So next up, we're going to use some walnuts in this, and we're going to toast the walnuts with the onion. One of the things that I like to also use in this recipe the last little bits of that trail mix. So this is a little bit of pepitas, sunflowers, and some cranberries. You can use some of this in there too. And then I'm also going to use this as sort of a little bit of a topping for my cuckoo as well. So we just want to let the onions get nice and soft. And while that's happening, we are going to take our parsley. There's a little bit of dill in here. Any kind of vegetable, any kind of herb that has a soft, flexible stem, you can use. If it's something woody, like a rosemary or thyme, you want to go ahead and take those leaves off. Even if it's something like sometimes oregano can be a little stemmy also. You just want to make sure that that's taken off because nobody wants to eat the stem. All right. It's time to pulse, pulse, pulse. If you don't have a food processor, you can chop this by hand. I promise you it doesn't take very long. Okay. So we're going to add that in here. Ooh, did I mention you can also use the last little bits of your salad that you have? Romaine, arugula, anything like that. So we're going to pulse that too. And my onions and walnuts are getting really nice and soft. So now I'm going to add a little bit of turmeric to them. Anytime you have a spice, you can always toast it. It just helps release a little bit of the flavor. Pause that one more time. And now I have my eggs. I'm going to throw my eggs in here to get them nice and blended, along with my baking soda. How easy is that? So I'm gonna go ahead and blend my eggs with my chopped herbs. And I'm going to add a nice pinch of salt and pepper. Get this nice and mixed. This makes a fantastic lunch, brunch, quick last minute dinner. All right. So I love to use my cast iron pan for this. Because it can go right into the oven and it's really pretty to just take it to the table. So I just pressed it down. And you can let this go a little bit on your cooktop, or you can finish it in the oven. I have some here that are already finished so that you can see what they look like. I'm going to top them with a little bit of the cranberry. And this is also great with some labneh or a little bit of sour cream or Greek yogurt, or a little dash of amba. All right. So let's get this cleaned up before dessert. I have to tell you, I have never met a dessert that I don't like. And what we have coming up next is one of my favorites. It's an orange cake, and I love it, of course, because of the flavor. I love it because it's delicious. It's easy to make. The best part about it, it uses the entire orange. That's right, the entire orange. It uses the peel and everything. And I use navel oranges a lot, but you can use blood oranges in this recipe. You can use Meyer lemons, or if you get a chance to find them, Jaffa oranges. I love it when I can find anything at all from Israel. So let's get started. Okay. So as you can see, I've got my oranges already cut up. They just need a really rough chop. They don't need to be pretty or anything at all. And we're just going to throw these in. If you're using a Jaffa orange from Israel, or if you're using a Meyer lemon or a blood orange, make sure the seeds are out. It doesn't work in the cake. So we're just going to put these in there. And the recipe that I'm going to send you calls for butter. You can use a 1-to-1 substitution with coconut oil or any kind of a carb shortening or margarine that you like to bake with. Do it 1-to-1. The ones that I've already made are actually carved with the coconut oil. Okay. This we're actually going to turn on for a second because we want to puree. Let's see, are we nice and pulpy yet? Nope, we want it a little more pulpy. That's what we want. Nice and chunky. It's got some nice flecks of color to it. We need 1.5 cups for this recipe. So I'm just going to measure this out. Do you guys know this trick that you can just put a finger right in there to hold that blade in place? So 1.5 cups. All right, I'm gonna set that aside. The rest of this, please make sure that you open that email with the recipes and the video, because I am gonna show you how we are going to turn this delicious pulp into some fantastic cocktails. So we're setting that aside. And this is a really simple cake that is, you know, just one of those butter sugar type pound cakes or quick bread. So the first thing that we want to do is we want to cream our butter and sugar together. There is absolutely no need for you to get out your big mixer or really anything else. You can cream your butter and sugar right in your food processor or blender, whatever it is that you're going to use. And when you're creaming, don't forget, you just want to wait and let it get a little bit lighter, so it helps dissolve some of those sugar granules. Great. Nice. We're going to add our eggs, as well as a little bit of vanilla. Let's wipe down the sides real quick. Oh my gosh, you are going to love the smell of this orange. Perfect. So now what we're going to do, this is my flour, baking powder, baking soda, salt. We are just going to mix all of that in there. So this can be baked off quite a few different ways at 350. You can make some muffins with it. You can make it in a full bundt pan. You can make it in a loaf pan. My preference are these pretty little bundt pans. And they do freeze beautifully. So you just want to get this nicely incorporated. And then I'll show you a quick and easy way to fill this up. And then I promise you the finished product. If you want to see pictures of all the finished products, you can always find them on my Instagram at Yes Chef Atlanta. That's the best way to see all the different ways that we plate these up and make them pretty and some recipes, all that good stuff. All right. This smells amazing already. All right. Muffin scoop. Easy cleanup. Anytime there's easy cleanup, it means not only are you saving time, but you're saving money. So this just takes 3 scoops for this little bundt pan, which is about the same as a large muffin. If you have a muffin tin, you can just use probably 2 of those little scoops. You can always use a spoon too. I want to show you the finished product. voila, our cute little orange cakes. And we can just top these with a little bit of powdered sugar. And they are ready to go. So, I hope that you guys have learned some new tips and tricks. Again, any questions that you have when those recipes come, please don't hesitate to let me know. I hope we've learned how to get the most from our food, just the same way that Israel gets the most from the land that she has, like the Arava Desert, the farms that Noah tends to every day. And I can't wait to cook with you all again soon. Ready for the raffle? All right, so for our Waste Not Cookbook, Charlene Markowitz. And don't worry, Beth is going to make sure that you get your book delivered to you either by hand or by mail. And Amy Arrighetti. So congratulations, ladies. Thank you so much for cooking along with me and joining us in Women for Israel tonight. Have a great weekend and an early Shabbat Shalom to all of you.
Thanks, Cindy. I can't wait to try those recipes. I'm Michelle Haresh, a Sapphire Society member and co-chair of Women for Israel with Ronnie Wolk. Both Noah and Cindy are super conscious of how they use their resources. In fact, each of us makes decisions every day about what we use, what we give, and what we save. We hope that you've been motivated to bring Israel closer to your inner circle of priorities by making your pledge to join Women for Israel tonight. Our goal of $10,000 will provide scholarships for 3 farmers to attend ACAT. Your gift will change the lives of the beneficiaries of your support. As we close, let's listen to a beautiful Israeli folk song by revered Arik Einstein, Ani V'ata Nishaneh et Ha'olam. You and I will change the world. It was a pleasure spending this hour with you. Thank you for your support and participation with Women for Israel of Jewish National Fund. Good night and enjoy the rest of your evening.
אני ואתה נשנה את